Welcome to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be replacing the fuel pump on this 2001 BMW R1200C. And it is absolutely perfect. It's honestly never been touched, and it only has 43 miles. When things just sit and are not used, obviously the fuel is more than likely from 2001. The fuel pump is totally shot. The gas tank, probably kind of rusty, but you never know about that. You never know. So now with a 4mm Allen, we're just going to remove the seat. There's just a 4mm Allen here on both sides. And then when we have those two out, this seat will just kind of lift up, and I don't think this seat has ever been off. This bike has just been kept in a climate-controlled garage its whole life. We can then pop both of our side covers off on both sides. These just kind of pop off here. Just loosen up that one screw right here with a 3mm Allen and just kind of move that out of the way. And then we can unplug our fuel pump wire right here. We can now remove our fuel lines, and I can already smell the fuel. Nice. We can now remove the gas tank with these 5mm Allens that we're going to loosen up on both sides. And then we're just going to remove these vent lines for the gas tank. One of them plugs in right here into the charcoal canister. And if you're doing this at home, I'm assuming your bike doesn't have 43 miles on it. But one thing that's really helpful to do is for both reliability and just to disconnect this right here, and then get another section of hose like this and just route it right to the ground. Just grab our gas tank and go right off. I have this whole gas tank emptied. We're going to be careful not to scratch our gas tank, and we'll just set this off to the side over here. We are going to quickly just slap a new battery in here. When we're doing that, we're going to remove our negative terminal here first. And we will drop our new battery in and hook up our terminals. When we hook up our terminals, we're going to do our positive terminal first. And I will have this battery linked below. We got the new battery installed here, and look at that. We have power. First thing we're going to do is just take off our fuel cap. Doing so, we're just going to remove all these T25 Torx. And then we're going to be replacing this O-ring for the filler hole here. O-ring can be purchased from the BMWpartsguy.com, and I'll have that linked below along with everything else used in this video. And then we will reinstall our fuel cap. And then on the fuel pump here, there's all these little 8mm nuts with studs. We can go ahead and just use a drill or whatever, 8mm, and undo all of them. And the whole assembly will just come right out. Oh my gosh. Oh, you can see it's starting to peel up right there and rust underneath. And all this under here is super, super bad. So just going over the fuel pump assembly here. This hose right here is not fuel rated. I have no clue what this is. So you can see this fuel hose is like, not even a thing anymore. This is so flimsy and like rubbery. This hanger here is pretty rusty. Everything here is going to get replaced. All right, that looks like a section of brake line with no barb on it. Has some sketchy worm gear clamps. And this fuel hose here is like the consistency of silly putty. The fuel hose right here has a major crack in it. I don't know if you can see that on camera. And you can see these wires here are totally just disintegrating. We're now just going to go ahead and disassemble all this. I'll do this off camera, but we're going to clean up this whole fuel pump assembly. Okay, now that we've cleaned up our fuel pump hanger and soldered on new wires here, we can then go ahead and just kind of get all this stuff together. Another thing I noticed is on the old part, they made this like, I don't know what the heck that is, some sort of spacer or something. now we have a completely rebuilt fuel pump assembly, new fuel sock, both fuel pump dampeners, new fuel pump, both fuel pump little plastic bits, new fuel hose, all new clamps, new fuel filter, all new lines throughout, new wires, the whole nine. Place a new O-ring down right in that groove. We're going to reinstall our fuel pump right inside there. Just like kind of slide in with it'll be in there just like in that orientation. And then I'm going to make sure these two vent lines go on these two barbs right there. And then we can go ahead and reinstall all of these little 8mm nuts. Now we're going to reinstall the gas tank. Reinstalling the gas tank, pretty easy, similar to the way we took it apart. We're going to set that up on those rubber bumpers up there. Push all these hoses aside, make sure our gas lines are on this side. And then kind of lower our gas tank to line up with the holes on the frame. Should see a nice equal gap around the tank here. And with that same 5mm Allen, we can go ahead and reinstall our gas tank. And then with a 3mm Allen, reinstalling our side covers. The side covers just have these three little pegs that kind of just drop right into these little rubber doodads. And then we'll go and reinstall our seat. We tighten that down with a 4mm. Thank you so much for watching my video. It really means a lot. And if you yourself are going to replace a fuel pump, please buy it from the BMWpartsguy.com. You might be able to find it cheaper on Amazon or find a Chinese knockoff somewhere else for slightly cheaper. But when you're having trouble installing it, those guys are not going to answer questions. They're not going to walk you through things. And really, like when you're buying from Amazon, you're helping a big corporation. When you buy from me, you're helping out me. It might be $5 more, but this is what spending a little bit of extra money gets you. It gets you quality customer service. But before we finish the video, let's see if this thing runs. I haven't started it since I've installed the new fuel pump. When I cycle the key on, I can hear the pump go. With a fresh battery, new fuel pump, new fuel hoses throughout. I'm a little nervous, to be honest. I filled it up with some fresh gas. I also put some Sta-Bil in there with the intention that the customer probably won't ever ride it. So the gas that's in there is going to have Sta-Bil in it, but let's see what happens. Yikes. Purrs like a kitten.